This instructional video is meant to help you repair a flat tire. I'm going to walk you through the steps, the process. At the end you're going to do an evaluation, your step-by-step process, send me pictures, and write a short paragraph describing a situation that you would get a flat tire in and how you would go about repairing it. Here are some of the basic tools that you will need to change a tire. A jack, which is located right here. Here's the jack. This will be used to raise your car so that you may take off the tire and replace the flat tire. This is the wrench that you will use to remove the nuts from the tire to replace the flat tire. Next, I'm going to be showing you how to remove the tools properly, use the jack to lift the vehicle, and then remove the flat tire. In the trunk of your car is where you'll find most of the tools that you'll need to repair this flat tire. Usually it will be on the side in a little compartment just like this. In my car I found the jack, etc., and the wrench in this compartment right here. After you find the jack, wrench, and the tools needed to use the jack, you walk over to the front of your flat tire, inspect the flat, and find a place to jack up the car. Most of the time it's going to be right under the vehicle near the frame, if you can see right there. Once you have the jack in place on the frame, you want to turn it to the right. That will basically lift the car up. As you can see, the jack is in place and the car is in the lifted position. Now we'll proceed to taking off the flat tire, placing the nuts in a designated spot, and then we're going to proceed to putting on the spare tire. Alright, once you get your jack to the right height, you're going to take the wrench and put it on the nut like so. I've always learned lefty loosey, righty tighty. So you want to turn to the left to loosen it, right to tighten it. Obviously we're going to be loosening it to take the tire off. And once you get it loose enough, you can just use your hand to remove the nut, like so. And once you get the nut off, you want to put them in a safe spot so they don't roll away. You lose a nut or something like that, that could be very bad. We've got the first nut off, now we're on to the second nut. You basically want to continue the process for the rest of the nuts. Once you get all 5 off, put them in a safe place, and then remove the tire. We're taking the last nut off right now, getting ready to take the tire off. Once you get the nut loose, push the tire back a little bit so that you can unscrew the nut properly. Place the nut in a safe spot, and then remove the tire, and place it away from your workstation. Once you locate the spare tire under the trunk, a lot of times they're secured by a bolt. Use the wrench to remove the bolt. Take this out, place it somewhere safe, and then remove your spare tire like so. Once you have all your nuts off the flat tire, you want to take your spare tire, get some good leverage, you don't want to throw your back out or anything. Place the tire on the bolts and slide it on. After you've done that, you want to grab your nuts and screw them on like so by hand. You don't want to tighten them up too fast because then you wouldn't be able to tighten them properly and your wheel might fall off when you're driving down the road. I'm just continuing to screw on by hand the nuts to the bolts so that the tire is secure on the bolts and won't wobble around, etc., etc. Putting the last bolts on. In the next sequence I'll show you how to tighten the bolts up and how to properly apply the spare tire so that you can drive off and get on with your business. After the spare tire has been placed on, put the nuts back on, and then I'll show you how to lower the vehicle and then proceed to putting the tools away and getting back on the road. Once you got your spare tire securely on here by tightening by them by hand, you're going to take your wrench and tighten them up, not too tight, but tight enough with the wrench, and you cross tighten them so that as not to create tension among the other bolts. So I'm tightening this one right here. Now I'm going to the one directly across from it. Tighten that one up pretty secure. Go on to the next one. Tighten that one up, the one directly across. And now this one. After you do that, you want to make sure they're all decently tightened before you start to lower the car in the next sequence. Now that you've got your spare tire on secure, you're ready to lower the car. Now, as we discussed earlier, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So I'm going to go to the left to lower this vehicle. You see how I'm turning it to the left and the jack is lowering the car? It's securely on the frame. Another important element I'll discuss with the jack is putting it on the frame so as not to bend the plastic that's on the bottom of the car, etc. Now that the car is completely lowered and you have the spare tire on, you can begin to fully tighten the spare tire. Just place it like this on, like so. Put all your weight behind it, and just like we did earlier, you're going to go cross, cross, and tighten up your wheel just like that. You want to put a lot of your weight on it, so as a lot of these tires are tightened down by air guns at shops, etc. So you want to tighten them as tight as you can, and make sure to not leave any room for them to move. The last thing you want after you got a flat tire is for your spare to fall off and not be able to get home safely. I showed you how to find your tools, jack up the car, remove the flat tire, place the spare tire, lower your car. That's basically how you repair a flat tire.
Go.
After you've replaced your spare tire, you want to take your tools, walk back here, set them down on the ground, walk over here, get your flat tire, roll it to the back, place it exactly where you put your spare tire, like so. Then proceed to put your tools and all the other materials that you got out back in your vehicle so that the next time you get a flat tire, you'll be able to repair it and get back on the road. In conclusion, I hope this video has shown you how to effectively repair a flat tire.